another episode of ManClub. Today we're going to pull out our Takeda Pro Dry S air filter from the short ram intake that I installed because it's due for a cleaning. So we're going to go through pulling it out and doing a cleaning routine maintenance on it, and I'm going to do a couple of improvements on it while I've got it out. So without further ado, let's get going. Tool is pretty light today. You're going to need some gloves and eye protection, especially when handling that cleaner. I've got the aFe Power Cleaner, which is part number TP7015 Charlie. That comes with 2 bottles, so that's more than a lifetime supply, I would imagine. Flat tip screwdriver. I've got a 10mm deep with a large extension and ratchet to extract the bolt behind the battery. I don't know what your setup is. Basically, use whatever tools you need to get your filter out. And finally, the old shop vac. Okay, for the way it's wedged in here in this Honda Accord, you can't just simply take the filter off. There's no room to work it out. So what we're going to have to do is down below behind the battery here, there's a mount point, and we're going to just take the nut and washer off of that, and then we'll disconnect it over here at this coupler, and probably disconnect this mass airflow sensor here, and that way we can kind of work it out just to get the filter off. Okay, now that we pulled the filter out of the vehicle, if you're not sure what you got, at least this one here, it tells you right there, it's Pro Dry S by aFe, Takeda. And what it says for step 1 in cleaning this thing is to basically knock out the hard particles. And I put this white piece of paper here so we can actually see what comes out. So we'll kind of work that around. And I can already see a bunch of stuff coming off here. I don't know if you can see that too well on the camera, but I just go around a couple times, and you see that I'm actually hitting it on this reinforced edge here. You don't want to hit the fins themselves. So there you go. This is round 1 of the cleaning process, and you know, if you're in a hurry, you can probably just do this, and they say, according to the documentation, this gets it back to 85% clean. But you know, if you're going to go through the pain of taking that thing out, you might as well go all the way in cleaning it. So we're going to go on to steps 2 and 3. Okay, so step 2 basically will take us to what they're saying is about 96% clean, and it's basically using a vacuum, a shop vac, to clean it out. So if you turn yours around, you'll see there's a good starting point. There's one metal fin here, and I guess that's where they seamed it together at the factory. So basically we're just going to sit there and vacuum each one of these little fins with a vacuum attachment like this, and we'll see how clean that gets it. It's supposed to take us to 96%. Okay, so we vacuumed the whole thing. It takes a couple minutes, but it's looking a lot better. There was some I saw some stuff that was kind of embedded in there that didn't really get taken out by the knock test, but it's looking pretty clean. But 96%. But just for today's display, and since I've already got it out, I'm going to go ahead and do the step 3, which is using a cleaner. Onward to step 3, and I give a warning before we do step 3. If you've got to put this back in your car and go to the store, go pick up your girl, whatever, don't do it, because this is gonna put you stuck at home for a couple hours, because we're gonna get this thing wet and it's gonna need to dry for 2 to 3 hours. So what we got here is a product actually by aFe called aFe Power Cleaner, and it kind of looks like simple green to me. but we're going to use it. It was about 20 bucks online, and we're going to spray it around from the outside and let it do its magic for about 10 minutes, and then we're going to flip it over and put the hose in there and shoot it from the inside out, pushing all the debris out of the filter. So let's give that a whack. I think this bottle is probably a lifetime supply, which is good with me. So while we're waiting for the cleaner to soak in and do its magic, what I've done is I've went ahead and bought a replacement for this. This one still looks like it's in pretty good shape. I mean, it's not looking too bad, but it's a couple of the guys have had these tear, and I think maybe that was just a case of them over torquing the screws here on these clamps, which you really don't need to do. But you know, it is a piece of rubber and it will rot eventually after a while. So what I've got in a replacement is this HPS. It's a 2.75 inch to 3 inch, and it's 3 inches long, so it's about the same length as what we removed. But this isn't really 3 inches, so this should fit snugly, but I think we'll be able to get it on if we just, there we go, work it in a little bit, and look at that. That one's gonna fit a nice, snug, tight fit, and I think that'll go back together because this is a 3 inch end here, so that all will tie in just wonderfully. But this is going to be a little nicer. So, all right, here's the moment of truth through the magic of internet television. 10 minutes has gone by in the blink of an eye. So we got our bucket here. This is just to show you what the water looks like afterwards. Got a hose. We're going to go from the inside out. Not a super strong spray of water, just a little bit, just to push all the cleanser out. And I can tell you that water, I don't know if you can see it, but the water is looking kind of nasty. So I don't know about that 4% thing they were talking about. Basically we'll just do this until it comes clean. So yeah, check that out. Looks pretty dirty to me, and this thing's looking like almost white, so I think that was worth the money to go ahead and spring for the cleaner. I'm sure you could probably just use some kind of household cleaner, but you know, I figure I'd just go with the manufacturer because they've obviously tested this. So we'll just let it drip dry and let it air dry inside, and we'll see you again in about 3 hours when this thing's dried. Just wanted to show you my accelerated dryer here. Basically, it's got a little fan, and I just put it on a towel in front of the fan and let the fan blow on it. That should help it out. It is windy outside today, but I didn't want to let it dry outside because of all the winds pushing around a bunch of leaves and other debris. Just going to clog up the fresh filter that we just cleaned, so I'm going to do this one inside. Okay, so we're all but dry here. It took a while, but we're back. And the last thing I'm going to do before we put it back in is I bought these this aFe Magnum Shield Prefilter. So this basically goes on the outside of the filter and is probably going to try to prevent like bigger items from getting stuck in the little grooves, so it'd be a little easier to clean. You just knock this thing out, and that would kind of prevent some of the steps of the cleaning. And you can see it's just some kind of, it feels like polyester or something, and it's just a small little cap, and we'll just stick the filter inside of this thing and see how it goes. I'm putting a hat on. Not the easiest thing in the world to get on. There it goes. Starting to look like something. And that's that. Got a little Jimmy for my air cleaner. Now we got our Magnum shield on here. We're just basically going to put this thing back together in opposite order that we took it out. So just don't forget to put your clamp on first, and then come inside here and slip this guy on, and then we'll just feed it back in here and tighten everything back down. And here we are with a look at the final product. You see the Magnum shield pre-filter right there. Everything's installed nice and clean. Come down, there's the new silicon reducer coupler, and the filter's clean, and we are good to go. So I think we are winding down on another fun-filled episode. Well, this concludes another episode of ManClub. Today we just pulled out the Pro Dry S filter from Takeda aFe, cleaned it up, and installed the new Magnum pre-filter over the top of it, put everything back in, let it dry. Probably just going to let it sit overnight, and it'll be good to go tomorrow. Time consuming and only in waiting, really. Pretty easy job. And I just like to take a second now to tell everybody out there, thanks so much for watching, and thanks for subscribing. This channel has blown up to more than I ever imagined, and it's all because of you. So thank you very much. And until next time, keep them hanging.